Looked at an NBA trade rumor and thought, that makes perfect sense. Why isn't it happening? Then you dive into the labyrinthine world of salary cap rules, and suddenly, your brain feels like it's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Well, buckle up, because today we're unraveling a prime example of exactly that. A trade scenario involving the Golden State Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga, and a six-time All-Star. On paper, it looks like a slam dunk, but in reality, it's more like trying to fit a square peg into a multi-million-dollar round hole. The Warriors, it seems, just said a resounding no to a significant trade. And the reason is as obvious as it is frustratingly complex. Let's break down why this deal, which could have reshaped their roster, simply couldn't get off the ground. 4 weeks now, the air around the Golden State Warriors has been thick with whispers and speculation. Jonathan Kuminga, the young, athletic forward, has been a hot commodity on the trade market since free agency kicked off. And who's been knocking loudest on the Warriors' door? Their Pacific Division rivals, the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, eager to bolster their roster, persistently pursued Kuminga. They even put a package on the table. Dario Saric, Devin Carter, and some draft capital. A solid offer, right? But here's the kicker. Folks, the Warriors, without hesitation, promptly slammed the door shut on that proposal. No dice, not interested. And if you thought that was the end of the story, think again. The plot, as it always does in the NBA, thickened considerably. Now, hold on to your hats, because this is where things get truly intriguing. Beyond the Kings' initial overtures, another name started circulating, sending ripples through the league. Six-time All-Star DeMar DeRozan. Yes, that DeMar DeRozan. Sam Amick of The Athletic, a man with his ear firmly to the ground, dropped this bombshell on the latest episode of the Warriors Plus Minus podcast. He revealed DeRozan was part of the trade conversation, specifically for a Kuminga sign-in trade. But here's the twist. Amick's understanding is the Warriors showed little interest in DeRozan. Same goes for DeMar DeRozan. So it's like, those types of things are issues, Amick stated. Wait, what? A six-time All-Star, a proven scorer, and the Warriors weren't interested? On the surface, it sounds absolutely bonkers. Let's dig into why. Let's talk about DeMar DeRozan. This isn't some flash-in-the-pan talent. This is a guy who, across his remarkable 16-year career, has been one of the most consistent scorers in the league. Last season, he still put up impressive numbers. 22.2 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 4.4 assists per game, shooting 47.7% from the floor. For a Warriors team that needs another reliable ball handler and playmaker beyond Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. DeRozan as a pure bucket getter makes a lot of sense. Imagine him taking pressure off Steph, creating his own shot, providing a much-needed scoring punch. You might even argue the Warriors could look past his well-documented flaws, limited three-point shooting and defensive inconsistencies, just to resolve the Kuminga situation and add a proven scorer. On paper, it's a compelling argument, a seemingly perfect fit. So why the cold shoulder? Why the outright rejection? And now, Fabian, we arrive at the heart of the matter. Base year compensation rules. This isn't about talent or fit. This is about the numbers. And in this scenario, they simply do not add up. DeRozan, as a free agent, will be coming in on a new contract, set to make roughly $24.8 million in the first year and $25.7 million in the second. In a typical scenario, that might be fine for the Warriors, especially considering their long-term plan for flexibility heading into the 2027 offseason. But here's the catch. Because Jonathan Kuminga is being signed and traded, his outgoing salary for trade purposes is artificially deflated by these base year compensation rules. Essentially, his salary for trade matching is much lower than his actual new contract. This creates a massive imbalance. The Warriors cannot take back a player making DeRozan's salary in exchange for Kuminga alone without blowing past the salary cap and hard cap restrictions. It's a technicality, yes, but in the NBA, technicalities are deal breakers. The math, as they say, just doesn't work. So, if a direct Kuminga for DeRozan swap is off the table, is there any path for the Warriors to land a six-time All-Star? There is, but it comes with a price the Golden State front office would find incredibly difficult to stomach. The only realistic way to acquire DeRozan would be to send out not just Jonathan Kuminga, but also another valuable rotation piece, like Moses Moody or Buddy Hield. Even then, it's not a simple two-team deal. One of those additional players would likely need to be rerouted to a third team, primarily because the Sacramento Kings are hard-capped at the first apron. Think about that, Fabiano. Giving up Kuminga for DeRozan might be digestible, but adding another young, promising talent like Moses Moody or a proven shooter like Buddy Hield just to make salaries align, that's a whole different ballgame. Unless the Warriors were also receiving significant draft capital, multiple first-round picks, perhaps parting with Kuminga and another rotation player would likely be too much to ask. It's a bitter pill, a move that would significantly deplete their already thin roster depth for a player who, while talented, doesn't address all their needs. This isn't just complicated. It's a strategic nightmare. So, while the idea of DeMar DeRozan in a Warriors uniform might be tantalizing for some fans, the reality of the NBA's intricate financial rules makes it an almost impossible dream right now. It's a stark reminder that in professional basketball, talent alone isn't enough. The numbers have to make sense. And in this Kuminga sign-and-trade saga, the numbers are screaming no. It's not impossible to envision DeRozan ultimately landing with the Warriors, perhaps through a more complex multi-team deal. But as of today, a simple swap is firmly off the table. This is a complicated nature of the NBA's offseason, where every potential move is a puzzle, and sometimes the pieces just don't fit. You walk away from this feeling informed, perhaps a little frustrated, but certainly with a deeper understanding of just how intricate these roster decisions truly are. What do you think? Are the Warriors right to be so rigid with their trade demands? Or should they be more flexible to land a player like DeRozan? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive into the NBA salary cap maze insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive news breakdowns and analyses. Your support helps us bring you the stories that matter.